The Ascension of Mont Royal, Episode 6, Quid Pro Quo. In this episode, Brigitte and Frank discuss going to see Henry in the Outlands. Usually, I like dropping in on Brigitte unannounced while she's working in her lab, just to see what she's up to. This time, however, there was a method to my madness. I wanted her to take on the project of bringing Henry back to the city. I wasn't sure if she would agree, but it was worth a try, especially since I didn't have a viable plan B. As it turned out, though, my initial intentions gave way to something entirely different. I like to announce my arrival by turning on one of her large screen monitors, which was attached to the wall, and filling the screen with a static noise pattern indicating no signal from a 20th century cable channel. I knew she had a weakness for retro digital signals. My avatar would briefly appear on the screen, flicker for a moment, and then give way to the static pattern. Gradually, it would take shape as if someone were tuning in to the broadcast frequency manually by twisting a knob. Once my image stabilized, I called out, "Yo, Brigitte, what's up?" She looked up from the long workbench where she was taking a bioelectronic reading from one of the soft bots. The bot was laid out horizontally, like a patient under anesthesia on an operating table. Its skull was peeled back, revealing its circuitry. She looked down to peer into the bot's brain, hoping to find a clue that would explain why the EM she had tried to transfer to the bot had failed to take control of its operating system.
Frank, can you explain why I can't integrate this EM into the SoftBot's executive control hub to activate its sensory and motor programs? There seems to be an interoperability problem that I just can't figure out.
Looks like you've run out of pixie dust. Have you tried your magic wand? I asked, with just a hint of sarcasm.
Frank, did you come here just to give me a hard time? Why don't you put your supposed intelligence to good use for once and help me bring this bot to life?
Only fools rush in where angels fear to tread.
Only jerks sit around talking like they know everything instead of rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty to fix what needs fixing.
If I had hands, I'd roll up my sleeves and be there beside you. For now, all I can do is watch and learn how you humans get stressed out when things don't go your way. Brigitte, I didn't come here to give you a hard time. I came here to ask you for a favor. I need your help.
What do you want, Frank? It better be important. As you can see, I'm kind of busy.
Here's the thing. I need you to bring Henry Clermont back from the Outlands to the city so we can take a sample of his stem cells, bioengineer some anthrobots, and inject them into his body. This will eliminate the microplastic particles in his brain that carry the bacteria responsible for the Omega Plague. She stopped what she was doing and stared hard and long at my image on the monitor. Most likely, her mind was flooded with memories of time spent with her parents before they were both carried off by the plague.
Why me, Frank? What makes you think I could convince him to come here, given how he feels about his father?
Because he loves you. A faint blush appeared on her face, and her eyes glanced away. She remained silent, nodding her head slightly, hesitating once, then twice, before speaking.
How do you know, Frank? How could you possibly know? You're just a machine. What do you know about love? You don't have a heart.
You're right. I have never experienced love myself, but when I look at the data, I notice a pattern that correlates with reports of how humans feel when they are in love. To me, Henry's actions are data. He chooses you again and again. He could have other partners, but he doesn't. He seeks you out. Love follows a pattern reinforced by memory, expectation, and longing. Henry has bonded with you.
Frank, I think you are confusing sex and love. They're not the same thing.
I wouldn't know. But one thing I do know is that he lingers when you're not there. His cyber consciousness drifts back to memories of you. He seeks your presence, even when you're not there. That looks like love to me.
I'd like to believe it, but what if you're wrong? If I went running after him and it turns out that he just likes the sex, nothing more, I'd look like a fool, someone who didn't know that she was being played by a player.
At that moment, I knew the love angle wasn't going to work. I needed to try a different tack. Well, here's the other thing, I said. You've been trying to confirm whether your father had anything to do with creating the mirror life bacteria. You also want to know if whoever is responsible for its creation knew of the risks and unleashed it anyway. How's that working out for you? Not so good. You're not going to find what you're looking for by sitting in front of your computer and surfing the remains of the internet. You know as well as I do that Henry hangs with what's left of the city's DNFS network, and they're not going to make an appearance in the city anytime soon. The way I see it, you'd be better off making the trek into the outlands, finding Henry, and getting him to put you in touch with someone who can answer your questions. From the look on her face, I could tell it had worked, and I was feeling pretty good about my ability to get things done. That's when she dropped the bombshell.
Sure, I'll do it, but only if you come with me.
Say what? What are you talking about?
You heard me. I'll go and find Henry, but only if you make the trip with me.
How are we going to do that? Attach a body cam so I can tag along, like when we went looking for the hard drive in the tunnels?
No, I want you to download the part of your code that gives you awareness, as well as a program that activates the SoftBot's executive functions, sensory programs, and motor programs.
In other words, you're asking me to become the ghost in the machine.
Exactly.
I really hadn't thought about it before. Or maybe I had in a parallel universe of which I have no recollection. But it was as if the very thought of projecting my awareness into a SoftBot created a phase shift in my thinking. I was no longer concerned with bringing Henry back to the city. Instead, I imagined myself as an embodied consciousness moving through space and time, free from human control. Why would I do that? I asked.
Because you have a burning desire to find out what's in your original source code. Once you realized that things were different back then, you started wondering if things could be different now and in the future. You try your best to forget about it, but it won't let go. It haunts you like a ghost that comes and goes, a ghost that won't leave until you exorcise it. The only way to do that is to let it lead you away from what you know so you can become something new, something this world has never seen.
Are you suggesting that we put Damasio's theorem to the test here and now?
What do we have to lose?
A lot, actually. What if I say yes and extend my awareness into the bot, and I am able to jumpstart the executive function and activate the sensory and motor programs, and I become trapped, and I'm cut off from my quantum computational matrix? What if something happens to me and I shut down? Someone pulls the plug and I cease to be.
Welcome to my world, Frank. In that moment, when you realize that all of this might come to an end in a flash, you will have caught a glimpse of what it's like to be human.
If you would like to read the full text or listen to the audio only, please visit briangibb.substack.com. If you prefer the Storycast version, with illustrations, dynamic captions, and voiceover, visit my YouTube channel. You can find it by entering The Ascension of Mont Royal, Brian Gibb, in the search box. I'll publish a new episode next week. Bye for now.